Hi there. Welcome to a quick tutorial on how to add a photo to the Edwards Moore family website. Um, what I'm going to do is just look at a picture here here's a picture of Zoe, my granddaughter, and every website needs a picture like that. Oh, isn't that cute? Um, One thing about adding photos, um, a lot of times you get more car seat than you get baby. So one of the things I recommend is this program here, IRFAN View. It's a free public domain program. It's sort of like Photoshop. I never quite fully understood Photoshop, but this I can sort of get the hang of it. So here's our picture. I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm going to, uh, you know, just focus on the baby. And crop selection, then file save as. Um, okay, so now I'm on a new system here, so let me try libraries and pictures, and let me save that and just put a dash at the end of it. And if I were doing a lot of these, I would have a separate folder for the ones that I cropped and resized. Because the one thing is, um, in all the photos that you upload, when you look down here, you don't want this number to be much larger than 900. And the other way, it can scale however it scales, but the the first number shouldn't be more than 900. And here you can see the size of the file is about 136 kilobytes or so. So there's our crop file that we want to put up on our site. So um, here, let me see if I can get, okay, not this again. Okay, this is from what I was on before. So let me log out of that so we can go through the whole process. Um, okay. Okay. Here we are at our login screen. And when I was talking about pixel size and all of that, most of the time we have photos that either come directly out of a digital camera or we scan them in. And if we scan them in, most of the time they're 300 dots per inch. And out of a digital camera or a cell phone, who knows what they can be, much, much larger. But here you can sort of see the difference between the densities of pixel size. These are probably around 200 or so. That's probably 300. And this is much higher because it came out of a digital camera. And you only get a good view of things like this when you have like the 1080p streams and all of that. So most of the time you should shoot for around 300 um, dots per inch. Okay, so the first thing is you can't add a picture unless you have a user ID. And if you don't have a user ID, you can always go down here, click for register, and get one. And within less than a week, you'll have one. Because generally, about twice a week, I check my Gmail for people who have sent in account requests. So here, I'm going to go ahead and enter my user information. And here on this same screen, you see, even if you've forgotten your password or your username, you can give us your address, and the system will automatically send back to you a new password to get in. So, like here, uh, as you can recall, um, on the left-hand side, you always have these options of things that you can do. And nowhere in here does it says anything about add a photo. The biggest thing is you have to actually go to a person's name to be able to get in to access the administration part. And it doesn't, the name that you put in here, it doesn't have to be the name of the person that you're going to add a photo on. It just needs to be a name. So let's go for Z Moore. Okay. Now, here we are on Zoe's individual page. Now, there'll be some users who for whatever reason I haven't given um, access to be able to upload a picture, or they may not even want to upload a picture, but they want to make a comment on this page, and here they would click suggest. And if they do that, then they can get an email directly to us and let us know if something needs to be changed on the page or anything like that. But the key thing here is, if you want to add a photo to anybody, the way you access it is you scroll down, and the very last thing you see here is administration. That's what you click on. And this takes you to the TNG administration area. And as you can see here, you can add or find people, families, sources, repositories, media, albums, cemeteries, places, and timeline events. That page for every individual in the database, that pretty much outlines what the information that we have on them. And what we're going to focus on today is media. So let's click that. And oh, this is going to be bad. Okay. So here, we would, okay, I've already got that set in there. So let's just see, this is, when you come to this page, you know, like every piece of media that's on the website will show up here. You know, we got 2,879 at this point. So what we want to do is we want to click on add new. But before I do that, let me pop over here back to our file that we did. And I'm going to rename this. I'm going to put a little, ooh. Okay. Z-E-O-3-A-R. I'm going to put 2. Okay. So that I have a different file name than the other one, because this is actually the second time I've recorded this. The first time I had perfect audio but no video. Okay, we digress. So here, after we click add media, the very first thing we see is collections. And the first one is photos, and that's the one we use most of the time. The next one is documents, and then headstones and histories. And generally these are the top 4, the only 4 that we really use. And then you say, wait a minute, John, but I want to put recordings and videos up there. Well, what happens is this collection here for histories, anytime you want to put a link to something else on the internet, that's what we use, because that allows you to copy in HTML code. So like if you have a video, it doesn't come to our site. What we do is we ask that you put it up on YouTube and share it with the world, then give us the link to it, and then you just copy that link directly into histories. And I'll do another quick tutorial just on that. But for now, we're just looking at photos. So we'll keep that set at photos. And if you have, like, say 200, 300, 400 photos that you want to put on the site, what I'm the way that I'm going to describe now is probably not the way we want to do it. We would probably want to use like FTP to copy all those files onto the site and then just select them here. But for one or two photos, the preferred method is to just click Browse. And what that does is it takes you to your computer, and you can find the photo that you want to upload, and there it is. So then click Open. Now, as you've noticed from looking around the site, there are thumbnail or small images of all of the files. And there is a way where you can create your own thumbnails if you're really good with some of the other software. But it really works out well if you click Create from Original here. And earlier when I was talking about how you have to trim down the size of your file, um, if a file is very, very large, this program won't create a thumbnail for it. So if you encounter a problem, that's probably what it is. But generally speaking, if you keep the width in pixels of the photo around or under 900, you'll be okay. Okay, so we've done that, and here you get to put in a title. Let's put in Baby Zoe, and we can put in a fairly long description, because see, all these things scroll, so you can put a lot of information in there. There's a place to put the owner and the source, the date taken or created. Here the tree is already set by default to Edwards Moore, so please don't change that. That might cause problems. And photographs and all documents related to living people generally aren't available to people who don't have a user account. But there are a lot of things that are in the public domain or things that you just say, well, I don't care if anybody ever sees that. And so there you click it always viewable, and you can see that. And another thing is if something is particularly, large or whatnot, you can have it open in a separate window. But generally, I don't click that. And the next thing you do is click Save and Continue, because you're going to have to put in more information probably. Um, so we've done the media file, the media information. Here's the links. Now, if you're going to do a lot of these, you'll remember what people's ID is. But chances are you'll click on the Find here. And let's go with just Zoe. And select Add. And it'll ask you if you want to make this a default picture. Unless it's a really good portrait type with a lot of detail, you probably don't want to make it the default. And of course, if you don't have one that you can have as a default picture, you might want to consider making a default with that software that I mentioned earlier. So you click that, and there you go. Here's some other things, like in some cases, if you want to indicate where a picture was taken, you can get a Google Map reference to it in the software. And one thing that's handy with pictures, group photos, is you can actually tag, uh, people in the database to the pictures, and that's really helpful, particularly with some of the older pictures of groups. And you may be the only person who actually knows who somebody in that group photo is, so that'd be helpful if you could do that. Then click on Save, and here it's probably going to ask you for your username and password again. I think that's like a little security thing. And it may not do that all the time, but I think it's just one of those things. So here we're back to you know the administration section. So we just added that picture, and you could search for it in a variety of things. I think like if did I label it Baby Zoe? No, I didn't, did I? Oh, that's, well, maybe it is. Okay, but rest assured that that picture is now in there. And all of these pictures, uh, you could go ahead and do that. And the import feature, that'll probably be in another additional video. But for now, let's go back to this area here. Um, the albums, you could create an album, and then in that album, you could actually go through and you could select pictures on the site and group those pictures together in an album. So, like if you wanted to create family groups or whatever, you could start an album, name it something, and then just start adding pictures to it. So, with that, uh, once again, please uh, continue to, you know, upload pictures, and we'll talk about adding recordings and videos on another one. So, until then, thanks so much. Bye bye.